Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Julie Harris, a timeless icon of American stage and screen. Julie Harris remains one of the most celebrated and influential actresses in American theater history, a performer whose depth, emotional range, and instinctive artistry earned her a place among the greats of the 20th century. With a career spanning more than 6 decades, she became a symbol of dedication to craft, a powerhouse presence on stage, and a beloved figure in film and television. Early life and formative years. Julie Ann Harris was born on December 2, 1925, in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. From a young age, she gravitated toward performing, attending drama camp and eventually pursuing formal training at the Yale School of Drama. Her early passion for acting helped shape a talent defined by subtlety, introspection, and a quiet emotional power that stood out even in her teenage roles. Breakthrough and rise to stardom. Harris' breakthrough came in 1950 with her Tony-winning performance as Frankie in The Member of the Wedding. Her portrayal of a lonely, imaginative adolescent resonated deeply with audiences and critics, showcasing her extraordinary ability to embody vulnerability with authenticity. She later reprised the role in the acclaimed 1952 film adaptation, further raising her profile in Hollywood. In 1955, Harris delivered another defining performance as Sally Bowles in the stage version of I Am a Camera, earning a second Tony Award. This role cemented her reputation as a performer capable of profound character exploration. A legend on Broadway, Julie Harris became one of Broadway's most decorated performers. Over her career, she won an unprecedented 5 Tony Awards for Best Actress, plus a 6th for Lifetime Achievement. Her stage performances were marked by her commitment to emotional truth rather than theatrical flamboyance. Whether portraying historical figures or literary heroines, Harris' interpretations often became the benchmark for future actors. Her celebrated roles included Joan of Arc in The Lark, Emily Dickinson in The Belle of Amherst, a one-woman show that became one of her signature achievements, Mary Todd Lincoln in The Last of Mrs. Lincoln. Her stage presence was understated but magnetic, a masterclass in restraint, nuance, and emotional intelligence. Film and television success. While theater was Harris' first love, she also made a memorable mark in film and television. Some of her most notable screen works include East of Eden, 1955, starring opposite James Dean, Requiem for a Heavyweight, 1962, Harper, 1966, with Paul Newman, Gorillas in the Mist, 1988, on television. She gained widespread recognition for her role as Lily Mae Clements in the long-running drama Knots Landing. Her television work earned her 3 Emmy Awards, reflecting her versatility across mediums. Character and craft. Julie Harris was admired not only for her performances but also for her humility and fierce dedication to her craft. She avoided Hollywood glamour and celebrity culture, focusing instead on storytelling and character study. Her collaborators often noted her gentle spirit, generosity, and an almost spiritual connection to acting. Later years and legacy. Despite health challenges in her later years, including strokes, Harris continued to perform and record audiobooks. She received the Kennedy Center Honor in 2005, celebrating her lifetime contributions to American culture. Julie Harris passed away on August 24, 2013, but her influence endures. Her work continues to inspire actors, directors, and theater lovers who see her as a beacon of artistry rooted in sincerity and emotional truth. Conclusion. Julie Harris' legacy is one of brilliance, dedication, and enduring impact. Through her unmatched body of work, she not only shaped the landscape of American theater but also set a standard for performance that remains relevant today. Quietly powerful, endlessly talented, And deeply human, she stands as one of the most remarkable actresses of her generation, and indeed, of all time. Julie Harris. Expanding the legacy of a stage titan. Julie Harris' career is frequently used as a benchmark for excellence in the acting world. Her body of work, spanning theater, film, radio, television, and audiobooks, reflects an almost unmatched dedication to her craft. By adding more depth to her biography, we can better understand why she remains one of America's most esteemed performers. A deeper look at her artistic foundations. Harris' fascination with acting began early, so early that by her teenage years, she was already performing challenging roles at the Grosse Pointe Country Day School. Unlike many actors who gravitate toward the spotlight, Harris was naturally shy, finding in drama a space where she could express emotions she didn't feel comfortable sharing in everyday life. Her time at the Yale School of Drama helped refine her technique. But even before graduating, she was discovered by Broadway producers who recognized the intensity of her presence. She moved to New York with the ambition of becoming a great stage actress, not a Hollywood star, but a serious interpreter of human experience. Mastery across generations. A record-breaking Broadway career. Julie Harris holds a record that few performers are likely to surpass: 5 Tony Awards for Best Actress, awarded for performances that represent an extraordinary range of characters and emotional worlds. Her celebrated Broadway roles included Frankie Adams, The Member of the Wedding, 1950, a lonely 12-year-old girl on the cusp of adolescence, became one of Harris' signature roles. Critics marveled at her ability to capture childhood innocence without condescension. Sally Bowles, I Am a Camera, 1952, her portrayal of the free-spirited, troubled nightclub singer, years before Cabaret, was bold, complex, and unforgettable. She infused Sally with vulnerability beneath the glamour. Joan of Arc, The Lark, 1955, her embodiment of the French heroine, showcased her spiritual intensity and emotional discipline. Mary Todd Lincoln, The Last of Mrs. Lincoln, 1973, Harris brought nuance and pathos to a figure often caricatured in American history. Emily Dickinson, The Belle of Amherst, 1976, perhaps her greatest triumph. The one-woman show demonstrated her extraordinary ability to command a stage alone for more than 2 hours. Harris became synonymous with Dickinson's poetic voice. These roles affirmed her reputation as an actress who preferred character-driven stories, literary adaptations, and deeply emotional narratives over spectacle. On film, a quiet but powerful screen presence. Though theater was her primary home, Julie Harris made a lasting impact in cinema. Her subtle acting style brought emotional richness to her film roles. East of Eden, 1955, as Abra, she grounded one of James Dean's most explosive performances. The Haunting, 1963, Harris starred as Eleanor, delivering a haunting, psychologically layered performance in what is considered one of the greatest horror films of its era. Reflections in a Golden Eye, 1967, her collaboration with Marlon Brando and Elizabeth Taylor showed her ability to hold her own among Hollywood giants. Harris often gravitated to characters who struggled with loneliness, inner turmoil, or spiritual yearning, roles that allowed her to showcase her emotional precision. Television work and cultural reach. Julie Harris also found a devoted audience on television. From PBS dramas to network series, she was a familiar and comforting presence. Her role as Lily Mae Clements on Knots Landing introduced her to an entirely new generation and demonstrated her versatility beyond serious dramatic roles. Her television accolades include 3 Emmy Awards appearances in over 70 productions, participation in countless radio and audiobook recordings. Her work in audiobooks earned her praise as one of the greatest narrative voices of the medium. A personal life marked by quiet strength. Harris' private life reflected the gentleness she brought to her roles. She was known for her humility, her lack of ego, and her deep kindness toward colleagues. Friends and co-stars often spoke of her as a soul made for understanding others. Although naturally introverted, she valued close relationships, mentorship, and the quiet pleasures of reading, poetry, and nature. She faced several health challenges later in life, multiple strokes, heart issues, but continued performing and recording whenever possible. Awards, honors, and enduring influence. In addition to her 6 Tony Awards, including her Lifetime Achievement Tony, Harris received the National Medal of Arts, the Kennedy Center Honor, the Drama Desk Award, induction into the American Theater Hall of Fame. Actresses such as Jessica Lange, Cherry Jones, Patti LuPone, and Meryl Streep have cited Harris as an inspiration, praising her emotional sincerity, gentle power, and devotion to storytelling. A legacy that continues to glow. Julie Harris' influence persists not only through her performances but also through the artistic values she embodied. Emotional truth above spectacle, character study over celebrity, quiet power instead of theatrical excess. Her work remains a touchstone for actors who seek to understand the depth and craft of serious performance. Though she passed away in 2013, Julie Harris is remembered as one of the most important actresses of her era, a guardian of the art of acting, and a woman who brought extraordinary humanity to every role she touched. Julie Harris, the artistry, philosophy, and enduring power of a theatrical legend. Julie Harris' name evokes a particular kind of acting, gentle yet fierce, subtle yet profoundly expressive. Her presence became synonymous with emotional authenticity, intellectual depth, and meticulous craftsmanship. In expanding her portrait, we see more clearly how she shaped the cultural and artistic fabric of American performance. Her acting philosophy, a quiet revolution. Harris' approach to acting stood in contrast to dominant trends of her era. While many mid-century performers embraced grand gestures or classical vocal projection, Harris offered something radically different: interiority. She viewed acting as an exploration of the human soul. In interviews, she often said, "I act because I want to understand people." This philosophy guided her choices. She preferred character-driven narratives over commercial blockbusters. She deeply respected writers and playwrights. Considering the text sacred, she approached rehearsals with almost spiritual seriousness, often calling them acts of discovery. Her technique blended emotional memory, psychological realism, subtle physicality, unforced vocal nuance. This set her apart from the stylized Broadway performances of the 1940s and 1950s, making her a quiet revolutionary who brought film-like intimacy to the stage. Collaborations with theater luminaries. Throughout her career, Harris collaborated with some of the greatest directors, actors, and writers of her generation. With Elia Kazan, her work with Kazan on East of Eden revealed her ability to hold her own opposite James Dean, whose explosive style contrasted beautifully with her stillness. With Carson McCullers, Harris formed a close artistic bond with McCullers, author of The Member of the Wedding. Their collaboration helped bring McCullers' lonely, emotionally rich characters to life with unmatched sensitivity. Harris would later say McCullers' writing felt like reading my own heart. With Robert Lewis and the Actors Studio. Although not officially trained at the Actors Studio, Harris was deeply connected to its philosophy of truthful acting. She worked with numerous actors from that world, Marlon Brando, Paul Newman, Geraldine Page, yet always retained her unique softness. With William Luce. Playwright William Luce specifically created The Belle of Amherst for Harris. Their collaboration became one of the most successful solo theatrical productions of the 20th century. Her transformational one-woman shows. One of the most remarkable aspects of Harris' career was her mastery of the one-woman performance, a demanding format requiring intense stamina and complete audience command. The Belle of Amherst, 1976, in this celebrated production, Harris portrayed Emily Dickinson with such intimacy and emotional precision that audiences felt they were stepping into the poet's private world. The show toured internationally, was filmed for television, and remained one of her proudest achievements. Other solo work she also portrayed: Isak Dinesen, Karen Blixen, Charlotte Bronte, Victoria Sackville West. These roles reinforced her gift for embodying literary figures with grace and insight, turning biography into living drama. The signature Harris performance style. A Julie Harris performance was instantly recognizable. 1. Emotional transparency. She allowed audiences to see her characters' inner thoughts without announcing them, an art requiring extraordinary sensitivity. 2. Restrained power. She avoided melodrama, trusting that stillness could communicate more than theatrics. Critics often described her performances as quiet storms. 3. Musical voice. Her voice, soft, lyrical, and expressive, became one of her trademarks, especially in audiobooks and poetry readings. 4. Psychological detail. She approached each character like a case study, exploring motivations, fears, and contradictions in depth. 5. Authentic vulnerability. Harris had the rare ability to make fragility feel heroic. A teacher and mentor to generations, though not a formal acting instructor, Harris became a guiding force for younger actors. She often attended rehearsals of new productions not as a critic, but as an admirer, offering encouragement and insight. Her guidance was sought by performers who valued emotional authenticity, including Jessica Lange, Sally Field, Cherry Jones, Laura Linney, Meryl Streep, who once called Harris a lighthouse for all of us. She encouraged actors to prioritize truth over ego, passion over fame, and craft over celebrity. Her legacy in film and television, understated but enduring. Although known primarily for theater, Harris' screen roles have aged remarkably well. Her subtle style, once considered unusual for film, now feels modern. Her portrayal of Eleanor in The Haunting is often cited as one of the greatest performances in psychological horror history, rooted not in supernatural fear but in emotional insecurity and longing for belonging. Her warmth and comedic sensitivity in Knots Landing revealed another side of her talent, endearing her to millions of viewers. A lifetime of honors and humility. Despite her towering status, Harris remained deeply modest. She famously disliked award ceremonies and rarely discussed her achievements unless asked. She received 6 Tony Awards, 3 Emmy Awards, a Grammy, for spoken word recordings. The National Medal of Art's Kennedy Center honors induction into the Theater Hall of Fame, yet she continued working quietly, often in small theaters or regional productions, long after she could have retired in comfort. Final years, a life still devoted to art even after multiple strokes. Harris returned to the stage and studio whenever possible. She believed performing kept her alive, emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually. Her final public appearances were marked by warmth, gratitude, and a continued love for the craft she served for over 60 years. Conclusion: the eternal glow of Julie Harris. Julie Harris' impact on American theater is immeasurable. She redefined what it meant to be a leading actress, proving that power can be soft, that complexity can be understated, and that truth is the greatest form of drama. Her work continues to inspire actors, scholars, and audiences who seek performances that illuminate the human soul. In an industry often dominated by spectacle, Julie Harris stands as a timeless reminder of the transformative power of sincerity, empathy, and artistic devotion. Julie Harris. A deeper examination of her cultural and artistic significance. Julie Harris' impact is not limited to her accolades or iconic roles. Her legacy is woven into the evolution of American acting itself. To understand her fully is to understand a major turning point in the relationship between performer, audience, and character. Harris and the changing landscape of American theater. When Harris arrived on Broadway in the 1940s and 1950s, American theater was undergoing profound transition. The grandeur of classical performance was giving way to emotional realism, influenced by Stanislavski's system, the Actors Studio. A new generation of psychologically complex playwrights, Williams, Miller, McCullers, Harris' style fit this revolution perfectly. She didn't perform at the audience, she invited them into her characters' private worlds. Her work helped shift American theater away from oratory and toward interiority. A bridge between eras. Harris represented the discipline of old Broadway, the vulnerability of the modern method era, the subtlety of cinematic realism. This made her not just a great actress, but a key figure in the transformation of performance itself. Her influence on women in the arts. Julie Harris played an essential role in changing the perception of female characters on stage and screen. Complex women, not archetypes. In a time when roles for women were often limited to ingenues, femme fatales, comedic types, romantic side characters, Harris gravitated toward misunderstood outsiders, intellectuals, emotionally layered young women writers, poets, and artists, historical figures with depth and contradictions. For example, Frankie in The Member of the Wedding was a type of character almost never seen before, a girl on the edge of adolescence depicted with raw honesty. Her Emily Dickinson was not a myth but a living, breathing, searching human being. Her Mary Todd Lincoln broke stereotypes, portraying her as a woman of passion, intelligence, and anguish.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.